If you're in the business of new business, I want you to stop and ensure that you watch this video before you get on your next sales call. The reason why is because I see so many sales guys, gals from across the board making this mistake, okay? And this mistake will cost you without even realizing. It will cost you every time you get onto the call, and it will therefore cost you your career, your sales figures, and fundamentally everything that reverberates around that. Okay, it's such a common problem, especially, unfortunately, if you're a Brit who's listening, if you're Northern European, if you're listening, then you have this problem baked in to your actual physiological larynx, your structure, your lungs. What's the problem? We tend to have a bit of a flat tone. The British gentleman, if you've ever watched The Gentleman on Netflix, or if you consider the actual stereotype that people have about the British culture, stiff upper lip, it hurts you in a sales environment. Where on to you want someone to not demonstrate the sales panache that you want to have to come in? Fundamentally, there's not many places that you want to have that issue. There's not many places where you want to suffer from the lack of energy that people bring in. And the crazy thing about it is you have to actively work upon it, okay? And to be honest with you, it also happens across the board. It just happens to happen more so if you're British because it's baked into the way that we speak. I had to learn this, okay? It's no coincidence that across my journey, one of the things that used to often come up when I was getting onto a phone call. Now, let me go back a step. So one of the reasons that this happens is because a lot of people don't realize that that can harm the content of what you're saying. So you can say what you say, but the way that you say it can carry across and it means so much more. So the difference between saying, I love you, and babe, I love you, can you pass me the milk? How is that any different? And people do that in a sales environment all the time. Really excited to work with you, John. John, I've got to say, I'm really looking forward to this campaign. I let's just say I'm more than confident that together we're going to get the result that you're looking for. Versus, John, I'm really confident we're going to make this work. Absolutely, couldn't be more excited. Do you see? Now, they are, and arguably, there's going to be people that are going to have even more energy, and it's something that I continuously work upon because it's about getting that balance right, right? How do you manage and measure the energy on the call against sounding too enthusiastic? But most people have the opposite problem, and what happens is that most sales teams, where they have a marketing department. So at Pearl Lemon, we sometimes have had that challenge historically because we are fortunate to generate 500 plus B2B inquiries every single month. That means is our sales team don't have to do outreach. They don't is to deal with getting the phone put down, with having to not needing to communicate their energy because to some degree the people they're speaking to are pre-qualified. Okay, so you don't have to work as hard to some degree. Okay, there's different arguments for it, but you don't have to work as hard. And as a consequence, they're not working on your energy. Okay, Jordan Belfort talks about this. If you just YouTube Jordan Belfort tonality, he'll talk about it. Okay, and the way that you come across, the way that you demonstrate energy can mean that you can say, and you shouldn't be saying it, but you can say the most banal things, and you can raise yourself, rise above lots of us other sales reps merely by virtue of your tonality and the way that you project your voice, the way that you communicate. And I see it happen all the time. One of the things that someone is measuring when they come onto a call is not what you just say, but that feeling, right? That feeling in your gut. I'm going too high up. That feeling in your gut, which is, I am hiring this team because there's going to be a set of problems, some of which are known, others which are unknown. Oh, wow, I didn't know it would be as hard as that. Oh, wow, I didn't know this technicality would come up. Oh, wow, I didn't know there'd be this problem. And they're looking for someone to navigate them through that unknown journey. And a big part of that is communicating confidence. And the way that you communicate confidence is through your tone of voice and often the variance of speed with which you say different things. So there's times to be slow and there's times to be fast. And the only way you can determine the time to be slow and the time to be fast is practicing projection, practicing having a strong speaking voice, practicing having a radio DJ voice. So today we're going to help be elastic, play with it. It's such a simple separator. You can walk into any room and even any guy or gal who's not had sales training. So we've got, for example, a girl who's just starting with us, Shania. She's my niece. Love her lots. She's going to do really well. And she's going to do really well because she naturally has built in, hey, Deepak Mama, how you doing? Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to, the energy that she communicates versus someone who'll come in and say, yeah, absolutely excited. Can't wait to crack on. Do you see the difference there? Do you see the difference? And you probably hear this around your sales desk all the time. And it's something that can be trained into you. And I'll always recall when I was on a sales pitch several years back when it was me and my small SEO team, my wife, Daniela, amazing, beautiful, Italian born and raised. And she would wander past in the background and listen to me pitch. And I just remember once when I got off a call and I was nervous because I had a remote team. And at that time, back in 2016/17, it wasn't as common. And people, for ultimately what they expected at some of the firms, expected an in-office presence. And I finished up that call and she stopped because we were living in a two-bedroom flat in Fulham, in London. And she'd come in and out of the kitchen, which was connected to the living room. And she'd say, why, amore, why'd you say it like that for? And I would say, what do you mean? And she says, you don't even sound confident in your own team. She said, you said the right things, but I didn't trust you because of the way that you said it. Because the way that you said it wasn't confident. They already have doubts about the campaign. They already have questions about, is this team going to be as effective from a responsiveness perspective? Or are you offshoring, nearshoring, whatever shoring, because you just want to cut rates and charge us a big profit on the other side? I've got all of these concerns that I bring into the call, Deepak. So when you say to me, yeah, no, absolutely. Look, we've got a remote team, but you're going to get the same quality, same value. And I'm versus absolutely, you're going to get the same quality, better quality, amazing value, and we're going to make a big impact. So the remote actual aspect of it, to be honest with you, Frank, it enhances our ability to get things done. So when you're talking to skeptical Frank on the other side, you want to turn him into a jumping Johnny because skeptical Frank has been converted by the way that you communicate what you're saying. And I want to spend today's ultimately learnings and teachings on that because once again, I am shocked by the amount of salespeople that I see that get a lead across their desk, MQL, SQL, marketing qualified lead, sales qualified lead, and then they attack it, right? I'm going to use bunny fingers with so little energy. It's so dull. And you think, oh my God, I'm so bored because the energy and the feeling that you want to transmute through the screen isn't there. It's not there at all. Do you realize how much lift you can get from someone? So my cousin Shiva, he talks about this. He says, in your life, and as you get older and you become more ultimately critical and intentional about your time, you want to ensure that the time that you have available to spend on anything in life is used very, very carefully. And one of the measures, okay, and this supersedes business value and other value, because when you've got the options of making choices, this is one thing that I really understand all of it. My cousin spoke about was, well, across your life, you're going to come across two types of people, and you're kind of going to know which bucket, even if it's a slide or a pendulum, where along the pendulum they are. If we've got skeptical Frank and jumping joyful Johnny, is that person, when you leave a call, when you leave a meeting, and you know this with friends and family, you'll see it, are you feeling drained? Like you just had the life force sucked out of you, like you were tried to buy something or someone was trying to sell you something and you got a bit of a sense of that was tough. Boyo, I didn't get the actual vigor and verve and energy and emotion and a commitment that I was looking for. Or do you get someone who is a radiator. I left that meeting with Jumping Joyful Johnny instead of Skeptical Frank, and Jumping Joyful Johnny was able to jump me to the next stratosphere. And then, as a result of that jumping jack, we joyfully marched our way on our journey to the very. Do you see the difference? So, this is what Shiva used to tell me, and I'll always remember it. Thank you, Shiva, if you ever do watch this video, that there are two kinds of people you'll come across in life. Okay, there's radiators and there's drains. Okay, I'm going to say that again. There's radiators and there's drains. So this is about selling. This is about the sales reps that are watching. This is about your tonality. This is about practicing it. And then you can get, once you become intentional about the practice of projection, of raising your energy, of knowing when to speak quickly and knowing when to slow down and knowing when to pause for effect, that the way that you communicate, the words that you communicate can dictate the actual success that you'll have on a call, because what you want to communicate at all times is confidence. Confidence in your ability to get things done, in my ability to effectively convey that one of the biggest things that I see absent from salespeople when I walk into any sales training environment, and this will impact any business that you're in, is energy. Energy. You need to have that level of energy, and it is something that is trainable. There are vocal exercises that you can do. There is role play. There is pitch practice. These are all things that our team can help you with. If there's something that challenges you, do get in touch. But in any event, this is something that affects so many business owners, and it's something that you will massively benefit from if you can engage yourself in it and engage your sales team in it, because I see it with founders or anyone who's selling. Okay, and the irony, and this is what you'll see from Grant Cardone when he talks about sell or be sold, is that we're all selling. Okay, we're always all selling. So why not learn the love language of selling, which a lot of the time is connected to energy, the way that you say things, and the tone, the timbre, the temperament with which you communicate. So all of these things we're talking about is a matter of practice. And I think that if you're able to pull this in to your calls, your conversion rate will skyrocket. Okay. And that's why it's really important, before you begin any lead generation activity, before you get on the phone, to ensure that you can effectively communicate with that level of energy, because otherwise the next guy is going to beat you. Because you know what? When you're selling a technical product, we sell search engine optimization, we sell complex web development, we sell catering, we sell legal services, we sell accounting. Whatever you're selling, when you're selling any level of complex service delivery that doesn't sell itself, a lot of the things that you will attempt to sell might go over the head of the people that you are selling. But in the act of selling, if you can communicate with confidence and conviction, the very thing that you're selling, that the thing that the people will buy is your confidence. So they buy you. They're buying you. They're buying Jumping Joyful Johnny instead of Skeptical Frank, because Jumping Joyful Johnny just seems to be jovial and communicate the joy and to be successful. And that's something that you will always see as sitting above any type of sales call, client relationship management call, onboarding call, any type of call that you have. It applies to, I mean, it applies to your family, my friends. It applies to your children when you want to sell them on the benefits of why do this. When you're talking to your wife on the benefits of why watch this movie. When you're talking to someone and you're actively listening and saying, really, wow, okay, I can't believe it. Dude, what are we talking about? And that's where I see time and time again so many people coming in, not to Shania, my niece, not to Luke, my best buddy. Not their vocabulary, but their tonality were to my managing director, Eon, as well as multiple other people. It sets you apart, or it sets you up for success. And then you layer tactics and strategy above that. But ironically, this is the foundational strategy that you want to change in your temperament. And I speak to you as someone who's had that problem. I've really, really had that problem. And it was a big problem in my personal life, because I fell in love with an Italian woman, a woman who's born and raised in Italy, moved to the UK when she was 27, and therefore she's used to a certain style of tonality, a certain energy that you project, and me having to have some of that inherently, a little bit, but then transform to become the man that I wanted to be in the relationship. It's a journey that I'm still going upon. It's a journey that I'm practicing by virtue of recording this very video. And so what I want to ultimately communicate is your energy, your tone, your tonality will in many, many ways determine your success, not only in sales, but in life. So fix it.